Are they? They are mostly just cumbersome.
You could use a good, normal peer yourself.
No.
Your brain sends the signal to your lips, but they refuse the order. Something is paralyzing them. You're pretty sure it has something to do with the lieutenant's eyebrow. The lieutenant relaxes his eyebrow, and you seem to regain control.
What do you mean? I have no idea.
The lieutenant's conceptualization skills. The lieutenant is a police officer of the old school. His concerns are material and extrinsic. But this isn't an old school case.
So what? That makes you, for real detective work, nothing beats a good...
The lieutenant produces his small blue notebook. We all have our different mediums.
Good. Let's change the subject.
I can't believe it felt like springtime. Sure, I'm done with them. Go easy on that stuff. It gave me... Excuse me?
She's uncomfortable. Maybe you should drop this line of questioning. She shifts in her seat. It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper. It's a metaphor. Thank you, waterlogged. Below the pathetics, terror. Do not look into its blue heart. They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating. It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average.
Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes. 2? That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me. It's okay. We all make mistakes.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number, a title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction. Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole. Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene? Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had lit. Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself. I pray his loved ones never find out. Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched. Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete. Sadly, the ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil. It's unfitting of this monumental event. The lieutenant looks at his blue notebook. He is not really saying anything, just standing there, looking at them.
Know that I give this to you with resentment.
The tasks you've completed flow out of the blue oblong pen in a brash freehand, uncannily inspect the interview that it's not exactly poetry, but a satisfying slash sounds across the paper. Things to be done and things already done. The composition.
No, actually. Any ideas? Yes. I have to tell you, officer, I don't appreciate ironic titles. Other officers will have to use this as reference. If it's idiot or cockfinger, they're not going to get it. They're going to think an idiot and a cockfinger were on this case. So, do you have something less funny? Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. I'm going to start calling it the hanged man. It's good we sorted this out.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out. 3. The topmost are misconduct fines. The middle ones are station call. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work. A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250, but they appear pleasantly. These are quite sinister in turn. They give a date and time for the person to a dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest, it's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want. Still wet, the toilet paper peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off with your finger and voila! The ledger now looks. It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board, something rattles inside. Permeables. It's not hidden per se. The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through. You cannot see. Blue. The blue heart. Don't look into it. Something rattles in permeables. It's not the plastic shimmer. With your hands, U4 sized pages hang from the clip, screwed to the top of the board. An aluminium block runs the width of the board. The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular.
What? That thing. It's a halogen watermark. We use it for adding. It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting.
Maybe yours will have how many years you've been on the force, he's thinking. It'll have that.
Any capable light with the right wavelength will do. All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry. The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off. Arson, petty theft, spousal abuse. Handwritten logs on dozens of investigations date back to. You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smell. Yes, you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB 41. then date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene. Followed, why yes, your precinct number is. Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials. Feeling isn't really probably for the best, because HDB feels like it takes about half an hour to piece one together using the system you've devised. Where do you want to start? This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, cause of failure, rent too high. The mural is enormous. Two silhouettes, a man, true love is possible. Only in the next world. People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaints, the graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the bell lectures have the literage of industrial paint to cover this. The case files do not show you finding the author. The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spread. The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villalobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between two options. A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority, and that love truly is possible in the next world for new people, and it is too late for us. In any case, it appears to have been a rare case of civil activity in the quarter, and agreement has. Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard. Is not what you end up doing. You squeeze the plastic to slide it out. The ledger quivers in your hand. As it shakes, the pages rustle. This pathetic mess suddenly afraid of you for some reason. It's just a racist mug. What's there to read? Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed-away mug that you dug out of the garbage? Understood. You're that kind of detective.
Now it's turning into a kind of a...
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward a silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, "I am Philip III, the Squanderer." The great even by the standards of the Philippian kings. Well, he blew through the whole nation, his own maladministration. Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber. He called it the Sol Auron. It was obscene. But wait, you haven't even heard about his fabled cocaine addiction. You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry. He was also a prodigious. His Majesty's courtiers said it helped him connect with the higher realms. That's what the revolutionaries said 150 years later. Cocaine. Beneath the cold waters of the Elysium, the original was blown apart. Most historians think the coalition's hasty landing may have ultimately saved the statue. If the communards had more time, they would have reduced it up to even finer pieces. Some years, the statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly trapped in amber, floating. People in Martinaise tend to disagree. Those critics, Philip III, not that he ever did. The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. The photo, an ambrotype from the turn of It's the Warmth of a Winter Night's Fire. Maybe she could give you comfort and shelter, some cigarettes and food money. No response. Wherever this woman is, your words fail nothing. Her smile just keeps widening. Her hair.
Wait. She's just a distracted old woman. Better to leave her alone. Why? I just told you why.
The woman still has her eyes fixed on the nothing. Her smile just keeps widening. Her hair. You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. Cop habit. This isn't case-related, you think. Hard to say. Your vision is blurred and you're having difficulty concentrating. No, these tracks are not interesting at all. Let the street sweeper just sweep them away. There he still is, looking right through you, with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dead. The ammonia only makes it worse. The combination forces tears out of you. The second time, not so much. When the vomiting is done, your cheeks are wet with tears.
Nor does the wind right now.
The weight is reassuring, like a krenel on...
I've seen strong men turn themselves inside out for hours. You are facing tough odds here. Alcohol withdrawal makes it considerably harder. I've seen captains puke their guts out. It never gets easier. You never get used to the smell. Every Monday is cadaver day. Throw up, investigate, throw up, then drive to the station. I think I've lost my sense of smell.
A white lie.
Not being hungover helps too. No. This is a two-man assignment because it needs two of you. Need to get your shit together. No, it's not, officer. We should go talk to the locals. Find something else to do while the wind changes. It's pretty bad right now.
You've gained a thought. When this dialogue is over, go to your thought cabinet and internalize it.
Give it half an hour. Get yourself together. Then come back. What do you see?
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite. Because there's a secret door hidden behind the panels of Eternite. There it is. You see a shabby little door.
What is this then? A tool shed?
Be still, my beating heart. It's amphetamine, sweet amphetamine. The lieutenant isn't studying the powder in the mirror. He's studying you. There's a good vague way to ask where he stands on drug use. Professionally, I mean.
Perhaps not. This is below our pay grade, detective. See that ladder there? It's probably another way into the industrial hub.
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here.
Yes, it's probably yours. It bears the RCM insignia, and you have a habit of being careless with. You could probably make the jump. You look like you've done some track and field in your day.
The wind is aggressive up here. The lieutenant looks at the enormous crane towering in the distance over the container yard. That machine is a Kvalsund 1020 HK.
Is it? Kvalsund makes a lot of heavy equipment, but I digress. We were focusing on your cloak here. What are we doing? We're awfully close to breaking into the industrial harbor, or it could be that we are just exploring. The cloak? I do think it's yours, yes. As to whether you should go for it? Well, it doesn't seem too dangerous. 2 meter stops?
The cloak looks like a bag of goodies floating in the wind. Who knows what its pockets may hold? A tarpaulin cloak is still caught on the railing. No one has claimed it for their own. Nope, no. That's still too high. What were you thinking? You're not a gymnast. You're a bot. You could have died there. Shit. I'm failing you. This wasn't
Hey! What happened? I understand. We can always come back when you are feeling better. It's just a cloak after all.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown. An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center. Silence. No one. You ring the doorbell. What an ominous name for a hair salon. Doesn't bode well for anyone's hair. All you hear is static, but no one answers. You ring the doorbell, but nothing. You wait for a minute or two, but all you get from the call box looks like someone has melted half the plastic off with a lighter. The doorbell doesn't work anymore. You hear static from the intercom speaker. It sounds as if
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric.
she sounds almost antique, as if her voice was being played off an old wax cylinder. A receiver must not be working properly. The lieutenant exchanges.
It's you.
Who cares that you don't remember her? No, something's wrong here. Are you sure she's talking to you?
Michelle, just please. Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months. Ever since I came to work here, it's been...
A spot of static overrides her word.
It's so nice to be able to finally meet again.
She sounds like she's about to cry. She doesn't answer. Silence. The only thing you can hear now is static and waves washing ashore on the bay. Another seagull passes by.
It must have been some kind of faulty wiring. We should maybe stop playing with this doorbell. It looks ancient.
You press the number sign on the keypad that terminates the call. 12 name cards on the call box. Silence. No one's home at Fortress. Silence. No one answers the doorbell. This button looks new.
Huh. This button looks new. It's probably not connected yet.
No. Hold on. The last thing you need in your life is more hysteric emotions. Forget it. Find The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian. Rows and rows of Hyamdala men blur your vision. Maybe 100? Man from Hyam, not even close. Man from Hyamdal in hell. Man from Hyamdal and the forest of slaves. Man from Hyamdal under the lake. Man from Hyamdal.
Oh, Man from Hyamdal. A very popular series of adventure novels. They're awfully blood and violence, scantily clad women, epic narratives, all those mystical things he encounters. What does it matter? They're all the same. If you're a novice of the series, I'd recommend Hyamdalaman, the man from Hyamdal. It's supposed to be a good introduction to the...
A twinge at the back of your head makes you flinch. Your eye starts twitching. Your hand reaches toward a book with glossy cover art of the very... She's laughing at him, belittling him. Between the throne and the Hyamdala man lies a bonfire, casting shadows on the wall. The shadow of the display rack before you is burdened under piles of Man from Hyamdal novels. A small mountain of colorful board game boxes, an endless variety of source books, lore books, and codes. There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art, The Hunters of Katawak, Boreal Creature Compendium. Books in a board game section. There's a box that says Wirral, 3rd edition mega setting supplements. That price is steep, but then it's the 3rd edition mega setting supplement.
Wonderful board games, sir. Raubritter is a fun game of economic competition, but...
Who are you going to play board games with? Do you have friends or family? It certainly feels like whatever you are will die with you.
Friends are technically like family. For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a lousy auras there. No, role-playing games are popular among those types. You know, who are into those kind of things. Personally, I don't like it. Not at all. I've heard they turn people into occult enthusiasts. That they have rituals where they try to summon entities.
Volumetric ship compressor. Bizarre scientific news from Revachol West today, where a police officer's shit has been observed at a pressure of around 495 gigadecimals. These metallic hydrogen levels of shit togetherness These shelves are overburdened with
Oh, crime, robberies, murders, even sexual crimes. We're fortunate to have Dick Mullen and his story. You're a police officer, apparently. You should buy all of these. They really do teach.
crime fiction is a disgrace. And these books greatly overstate the excitement. What's more, they completely ignore the psychological, not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. You see, Dick Mullen on the job. Get me Mullen. The stalwart adventures of Richard P. Mullen. Dick Mullen and the murder in the orchard. The sordid affair of Dick Mullen. A killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the murder house. The final case of Dick Mullen. Oh no, turns out he faked it to solve a case. Yes, there's also the dame who did it. Farewell, my Mullen. Faking death seems to be a common trope in the Mullen series. Tragedy calls for Dick Mullen. Another one with fake death. And, of course, Dick Mullen, the murderer. In order to catch a murderer, Dick Mullen must become. After all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question that matters. Who is Dick Mullen? Your quick eye notices a small caterpillar crawling across the spine of a book, a worn paperback from Dick Mullen's classic Hard-Boiled Phase. The premise seems to be that Dick Mullen is... Could it be the motifs of unstable identities and shocking betrayals? Perhaps you're drawn to the dark and noirish atmosphere. Is it because the smoking dame in the slinky red dress on the cover is giving you a hard-on? Yes, it is. The bulge in your pants is embarrassing. Relax. It's not that bad. Also, this means you...
Something the matter, detective?
The lieutenant nods. You think you detect the faintest trace of a grin on his face, but you can't say for certain.